Okay guys, I'm back today to show you how to shim up a track on an ALTOZ TRX track mower on the 354 only, because I realized that there is a difference on how to shim up a 354, a 561, and a 566. They're all three set up different. So this is only going to show you how to shim up the 354. But I do want to take a shout out to ALTOZ for sending me this shim kit for free, so that way I can kind of do this video and show you. Now obviously I'm not going to shim this up because it's already good, but I'm going to kind of show you how to do it and how to test for the deflection, so that way you can kind of see how it all works. So let me get set up real quick and then I'll be back with you. All right, I'm back. One thing I do want to mention before I show you this is in the instructions it says to back up your mower to get the tension to the back edge of your mower, because if you are driving forward, all the tension's to the front, so you want to reverse it to get the deflection in the back, so that way it has more play. I have already done that, so that's why I kind of skipped that step. So next you take a straight edge. Sorry, I had to use a tile because that's all I had. And it says you need to basically put your straight edge on the back and push somewhere in between this area right here, and you should have no more than a 1/4 to 5/8 range deflection on the 354. Now the 561 is the same. The 566, your deflection is between a 1/4 and 3/4 inch range deflection. So I'm going to kind of show you here. It says to just press down to a light to moderate pressure, which right there I'm showing about 3/4 before I do the deflection, and then I just press down a little bit and there's another 1/4, so I'm within range. So that's why I'm not going to shim this, because it's within range. So if it was a lot more play and you was able to push down more, then you would shim it. But because it's within range, I'm not going to shim it. So I'm going to jack up the mower and I'm going to take this track off and kind of show you where you place the shims, because it's going to be a lot easier to shim the track with this piece right here removed. And then you'll have to put it back on, check your deflection and all that. So it's going to be a process, but you'll kind of know how to do your shimming once this is all out of there. So, all right, well, let me get this jacked up and get this piece removed, and then I'll get back with you. All right, guys, I'm back. Now I got the track off. I do want to mention before I show you this, this shim kit does have different size shims for like the 354, the 561, and the 766. This is the different size shims they have in each kit. So whichever model you have, when you order this kit, this is what's going to come in it. As you can see, there's, the smaller ones, the bigger ones, that type of stuff. So once you get the track off, how you shim it is, I know this instructions are kind of confusing, but now that I see what it's talking about, I can kind of show you. So you've got the small spacers for the front, and then you've got the bigger ones for the rear, and you loosen these bolts. See these bolts right here? This is the rear, and you can kind of see that there's a spacer in here. You loosen these two bolts, and you can add spacers or you can take away spacers. If you add spacers, that's what tightens your track, And if you take away the spacers, that loosens the track. And then here's the front one, and this is where the small one goes. And it's the same thing. You tighten it. If you take, if you add spacers, and you loosen it if you take away the spacers. So that's where you add the spacers at to get your tension on your track. So if your track becomes really loose, you take your track off, and depending on how much deflection you have is going to depend on how many spacers you need. You see this has got a really small one, and then it's probably like a medium to not quite big. So, and then the same thing on that. So anyways, that's how you add tension to your track. And then, you put your, you add your spacer, you put your track back together, put it back on, check your deflection. If it still needs more, then obviously you have to take your track back off and add more spacers. But it's easier to remove your track to add those spacers than it is with the track on, because I mean, you don't have very much space between this and the track, and it'd be hard to get in there. I mean, you might be able to, but I would think it would be easier to remove the track, because it's really not that hard to remove the track. Because if you look at my other previous video on how to remove the track to replace them, you'll kind of see that it's pretty easy. So anyways, with that said, that's how you add or take away tension on a track, on one of these track mowers. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If you liked the video, please like. And if you wanted to subscribe, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But that's all I have. Now I just gotta put it all back together, and should be good to go. Thanks for watching. Okay guys, I just wanted to show you, these are the bolts I was telling you about right here. So this is how much room you have to work with the track on to get them bolts off, and then get that bolt off. So that's why I say it's easier to remove the track, because yeah, they don't give you very much room to work shimming this thing up with this track on. So that's kind of the reason why I showed you it the way I did, because yeah, there's literally hardly no room to get them bolts off with the track on. So just a little FYI. Thanks.